Chief.
This is the Laughlin Town Advisory Board, Laughlin Regional Government Center, 101 Civic Way, Laughlin, Nevada, 89029. Today is May 12, 2026, and the time is 1:30. Items on the agenda may be taken out of order. The board may combine two or more agenda items for consideration. The board may remove an item from the agenda or delay discussion relating to an item at any time. No action may be taken on any matter not listed on the posted agenda. All planning and zoning matters heard at this meeting are forwarded to the Board of County Commissioners Zoning Commission, BCC, or the Clark County Planning Commission, PC, for final action. Please turn off or mute all cell phones and other electronic devices. Please take all private conversations outside the room. With a 48-hour advance request, a sign language interpreter, or other reasonable efforts to assist and accommodate persons with physical disabilities may be made available by calling 702-455-3530, TDD at 702-385-7486, or Relay Nevada toll-free at 800-326-6868. Supporting material provided to the board council members for this meeting may be requested from Kathleen Hickman at 702-298-0828. Supporting material is or will be available at the Clark County Department of Administrative Services, 500 South Grand Central Parkway, 6th floor, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89155. Supporting material is or will be available on the county's website at clarkcountyNV.gov/Laughlin TAB. At this time, I'll take roll call. I am here. Kathy Oakes.
Here.
Bradley Beck.
Here.
Kathleen Oakes House is excused. Carrie Larson.
Here.
Our secretary, Kathleen Hickman, can be reached at 702-298-0828 or kathleen.hickman@clarkcountynv.gov. Our county liaison, Mark Moskowitz, can be reached at 702-298-0828 or 702-455-6173 or mark.moskowitz, MOSKOWITZ, at clarkcountynv.gov. The business address for both is Clark County Department of Administrative Services, 500 South Grand Central Parkway, 6th floor, Las Vegas, Nevada. I've called the meeting to order, done the roll call. Bradley, will you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Please rise.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. Item 2, public comment. This is a period devoted to comments by the general public about items on this agenda. No discussion, action, or vote may be taken on this agenda item. You will be afforded the opportunity to speak on individual public hearing items at the time they are presented. If you wish to speak to the board about items within its jurisdiction, but not appearing on this agenda, you must wait until the comments by the general public period listed at the end of this agenda. Comments will be limited to 3 minutes. Please step up to the speaker's podium. If applicable, clearly state your name and address, and please spell your last name for the record. If any member of the board wishes to extend the length of a presentation, this will be done by the chairperson or the board by majority vote.
There you
Now
go.
Okay. I'm Jill Ramelot, Ramelot, and I am here representing the Laughlin, Nevada Times and Mojave Valley Daily News. I just wanted to ask you, because there is an item on the agenda today, I think I can speak now, the regular update from Big Bend Water District. I was hoping that during that report, I could learn the process of how the new committee is going to be formed, the one that's going to oversee the Fort Mojave Development Fund. I know that was something that was discussed, so I wondered if you guys can give me a little update on how, what's going to happen with this new oversight and a new commission being formed. So I was hoping that might be presented at the report. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay. At this time, I'll combine items 3 and 4, approval of the minutes for April 14th, 2026, and approval of the agenda for May 12th, 2026, and hold, combine, or delete any items.
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? That's approved. Receiver an update from Clark County Commissioner Michael Naft.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Chair, members of the board, thank you so much for allowing me an opportunity to say hello. And I know when I'm chairing, I give strict rules to direct the attention towards the board. But if I could, at your allowance, just turn my back for a minute to say hello and to thank those of you who are here. Taking time from your day to be at a town advisory board meeting, I think, is so meaningful. There is so much work that happens with this body, and the members of this body do an extraordinary job making sure that this community's voice is heard from here to Bunkerville and everywhere in between, including the government center. So I, through you, thank them for their volunteerism and their work and their willingness to step forward and be a part of the leadership team here in Clark County. I think I know everybody in this room pretty well. I think you all have my cell phone number and we talk pretty often. So forgive me for repeating anything that you already know, but I do think it's important that I talk about some of the priorities from my perspective, some things that we have accomplished and some work that we have yet to do together. I just came from a few minutes ago, and I want to thank Ashlyn. We walked in because we came from the same event together. She called me a few months ago and said, wouldn't it be great? It's great that the Las Vegas A's are doing so much work in Las Vegas. We, too, are part of the Clark County community, and it's important that the A's have a presence everywhere in Clark County. And so she and Mark worked collaboratively with Mark Bedane and the president of the A's to make sure that we could have something here that was as special as anywhere else in the Valley. And so we just came from doing a program, a career program, at campus, and it was, 350 kids in the auditorium, and we had brought in from headquarters 3 individuals who are on the business side, and this is after they did a recess event, but on the business side so that the students of the school can hear not just what opportunities exist on the field, but can hear the opportunities that exist on the business side. And for me, I got to, right at the end, this young lady asked, basically what inspires each of the panelists. And I have to say that the students in that room, as often as I am with students in the district and other schools in my district, these kids asked really good questions. They were thoughtful, they were polite and respectful throughout the entirety of the conversation. They asked questions that will lead, no doubt, to future careers and were really thought-provoking. And so I say that as a compliment to the community at large and to Principal Moss and the teachers who make sure that those kids or have a role in making sure those kids are becoming the people that we can all be proud of. And I thought that was really exceptional. And I'm grateful to the A's for making sure to prioritize the township and the community here. Want us to also talk again, forgive me, these are things that I know each of you all know, and I suspect many in the room know this, but I don't want to miss the opportunity to highlight some things that I think are worth mentioning. One is this afternoon, I hope everyone will join me. We're going to cut the ribbon on the area's first fitness center. This is, you've heard me say this before, this we're doing a lot of things that are going to be the start of something big. This is how things start, right? We don't start with a 24/7 fitness or a Lifetime Fitness. We're going to start at Spirit Mountain. This is replicated after the fitness center that I put into the Silverado Ranch Community Center, which I built in Enterprise Township. And it's modeled after that. There's some treadmills, there's some recumbent bicycles, there's some equipment there. We are offering scholarships for the first 200 individuals who sign up on a need-based situation. Otherwise, it's the same program that the county has everywhere. I think it's $36 a year, $35 a year for seniors. And not only will you get access to this fitness center, but if you ever come and visit me north of here, you can go to any Clark County facility and use that same pass. I really am hopeful that the community will utilize this so that I can continue to fight for more dollars to be spent here in our parks programming and our parks facilities. So the county will be keeping tabs on making sure that it is well utilized. So, you know, riding an elliptical bike is not like my favorite thing to do, so I'm not sure I'm going to help, but I hope that many of you utilize it and utilize it well, because it will lead into so many things to come. I also want to point to a small example of why I think this forum matters, why the coffee and conversations that I've hosted, I host them almost every other weekend throughout the valley. I've hosted them here generally on a quarterly basis, but why those things matter so much. When I was here in January at the end of the month, was anyone at the coffee and conversation? You were. I know you were. That's it. The room was packed and there's not a lot of overlap. Gino, you weren't there? You missed that one? Man. Well, I'll tell you what happened. Some of your neighbors showed up from the pickleball community wanting to restripe the pickleball court. That project is done. I told them, but by the time I came back, we would have that project done, and it was completed. And that is something that we might not have heard of if it wasn't conveyed to Mark or if it wasn't conveyed to me in that type of a setting. Small example, little thing that we can do that hopefully those who are here every single day and know that, hey, 9 times as many people are going to use a pickleball striped court than another striped court, we can implement some of those changes. And so glad we got that done. Something else that we have implemented here that I have done throughout my district and has been really successful is the Movie in the Park series. I guess I'll start doing polls. Who went to Movie in the Park? What? I know you did. Anyone else? All right. Okay, maybe I should take a poll on what movies we should show next. That might impact turnout. Movie in the Park is a really popular series that we host all throughout Clark County. I host them at my other community centers, and now we're hosting them here in Laughlin and in Searchlight. And again, encourage you to participate in things like that, but also as important is to let us know what things you want. This is our departments are your departments, and whether that's Parks and Recreation, whether that's Real Property Management or Public Works, the 3 departments that I hear the most of from this community on, they need to get direction from the people in this room and the people in this community. So conveying that through us is very, very helpful. It allows us to hopefully bring more programs that we can sponsor through our commission district, like the Movies in the Park, which we have done. I also want to touch on the change in service from AMR to community ambulance. That is something that was difficult for me. It was very frustrating. I had a lot of not so pleasant conversations with the management of AMR. They, at the end of the day, weren't fulfilling some of their responsibilities that I believed we owed the community here. Namely, that was to have 2 units available here in Laughlin. That wasn't happening, and so at the end of the day, we released them of the responsibility. Community ambulance has come in. Mark and I are keeping close track on the progress there, and I am pleased to report that year over year, they are overperforming. They have met their they're at 98%, but 90% is the requirement of service level. level, meaning that they respond on time or early 90% of the time or more. They're at 98% and are performing really, really well for the community. So that's a franchise agreement that Clark County has with that ambulance provider. It's another area that you might not think of as being something that is in our purview, but it is. So if there is feedback that you have as it relates to that provider of service, please let us know, and we aggressively stay on our ambulance contract. They hear from me regularly, so we will continue to do that. I also want to highlight again for the community the independent business grant opportunity that we made available. It's been out for quite a while now. I need help communicating that to people. For those in the room who may not know, I made up to $250,000 available through our Economic Development Fund for locally owned independent businesses to take advantage of these dollars, up to $25,000 per business. You can use it on TNIs, you can use it on exterior improvements. The purpose of these funds is hopefully to maximize the potential impact in the community. And what I mean by that is if business ABC spends a little bit of money to fix their sign, we know that business is going to in turn improve, but we also know that their neighbor might be more likely to fix up their sign, right? If your neighbor is doing something nice, it lifts up everybody's game. And so that was my intention with these funds. I badly want Laughlin businesses to be able to participate in this, so help please continue to spread the word because there's dollars available. Well, was it last time or the time before when we launched the UMC Connect program? If you are not familiar with it, this is the telehealth medicine, and it is really good for someone like me I'm really bad with a lot of technology. If any of you have tried to do a Zoom call with me, you probably have experienced that. That's why we usually end up talking on the phone. However, if you're someone like that who maybe the UMC app is not like the best tool for you to use, we have staffed personnel here, right here. That way, thank you, Kathy. We have staffed an office here, a Connect program. It's the first of its kind in the Valley, in the county, and it can offer a lot. No, it's not a hospital. It's not a full quick care clinic, but there is a lot of services that can be rendered from that space. So if you have a cold and you need to get a prescription, they can do that there. And by the way, Constable, thank you for sharing some space to help make that happen.
Absolutely.
This is another one that I will put a line under. Please spread the word, help utilize it. It's difficult for me to insist that we budget for personnel if the program's not being utilized. So if you tried to use it, and I think some of you have told me about some issues, if you tried to use it unsuccessfully, let's tweak it, let's fix it together, because I would much rather do that than, at the end of the budget cycle have to explain why 5 people have used this thing and that the dollars are needed elsewhere. So let's try to keep that position here and hopefully demonstrate the proof of concept that, boy, is it important that we have more healthcare services here in the community. There's some other programs that I know Mark will cover in his report. Real property management, we have the lighting retrofit that is happening. That's scheduled to be completed by early February. 71 lights outside of this building and the surrounding areas are being converted over. That's an important program that is countywide. And I also want to mention, in a couple of my roles outside of being your representative on the county commissioner, on the county commission, I also represent the county commission on a variety of regional boards. Of note is the Metropolitan Police Department Fiscal Affairs Committee. This is the body established in NRS to approve the budget of the police department. We fund, we by meaning unincorporated Clark County funds 66% of Metro's budget. The city of Las Vegas funds the balance of that budget. And that role gives me an ability to fight for certain things within the Metro budget before it comes to both the full council and the commission for approval. This year's budget is up, which is really a testament to the investment we're making in our first responders. Metro, and I know, Lieutenant, you're here, but Metro does a really incredibly impactful job in this community and in all the communities that I represent, and I want to make sure that we continue to fund them adequately for that. This year's budget was $958 million. I approved it on fiscal affairs. It will now come to the County Commission and to the City of Las Vegas Council. That represents essentially a status quo budget, though it is up $82 million, so reinvestment in policing services. That's exclusive of things like the airport, that's separately funded, exclusive of a variety of other funds that Metro receives dollars from. But what I want to point out in that budget, something that I have now worked 3 budget cycles for, is an increased commitment to the traffic bureau. A lot of you have heard me probably talk on and a little too much about the Traffic Bureau. I think that the Traffic Bureau plays an incredibly important role. Right now they're staffed at about 146, I think, officers for the whole county, Bunkerville to Laughlin. That's not enough enforcement, in my opinion. It is not enough response to traffic collisions. And so I have so far been successful in fighting for an additional 16 positions, which represents 2 squads, 2 detectives, and about a $3.2 million budget to address the increased demand on the Traffic Bureau, something I think is really important. In the supplemental, for those of you who watch our agendas, you'll also see dollars set aside for counterterrorism efforts, much of which is actually spent in this part of the county, and I think is an important value to the entire community. So I want to mention those things. I also want to talk a little bit briefly. I know you give me the hook when you need to, Chair, but I want to thank each of you for playing a critical role in the funding of the Fort Mojave grant towards the loan from the Fort Mojave Fund to the Big Bend Water District. This was a very hard thing for all of us to navigate, and I will tell you what it comes down to for me is I don't want to be the county commissioner over Laughlin when stagnation spreads in this area. I won't allow it. And if at the end of the day we need to fund these tanks in order to move forward with building permits, in order to move forward with allowing our business community to do the things that we all prosper from, if that is what it took to loan from an account which is under the full authority of Clark County to the Big Bend Water District in order to move forward, it was a well worthwhile endeavor. And I would also point out that I have a strong commitment to making sure that the Fort Mojave Development Fund continues to receive funds outside of what is already committed. And so Mark and I have been working closely with a lot of our franchisees. We've been working closely with towards other development opportunities, and we can continue to report back to you increases to the Fort Mojave Fund that are not expected yet. And so aside from the connection fees, which will be realized, much of that will be realized to pay back the loan, we will also have new dollars being invested into that fund. I think it's important. I want those dollars to stay here in Laughlin, and we'll continue to make sure we work towards that. So Chair, if it's okay, I'll pause there just with, again, my sincere thanks to you and to each of the members of the board for this work. This is a labor of love, I know. I have the pleasure of having 5 townships in the district I represent, and having a vocal town board makes all the difference, particularly for an outlying area like Laughlin, where we need strong voices to stand up, to be vocal, and that's how we get things done together. So I just thank you for the time on today's agenda. I hope by now everybody knows that whether it's me, Mark, Kathleen, or any of the Clark County services, by the way, there's quite a few in the room today, so I just extend my thanks to all of our departments and agencies who make an effort to be here, not only to be here to give reports, but to be here to exchange ideas and information. I thank them. I think that is important and something we continue to ask of them. So I'll pause, I'll thank you, and I will look forward to seeing hopefully everyone in this room on the exercise machines at 3:30. Thank you very much.
I'll be there, but not on the machine.
Me too. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of the meeting and afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you. Receive a report and updates from South County Liaison Mark Moskowitz on current events and any updates from Clark County.
Yes, thank you, Chair. Two quick updates, and then I'll go to my presentation. So I know on the Friday movie series, we had one on April 17th, and unfortunately, the wind derailed it. So that has been rescheduled to Friday, May 29th. It'll be at 7 p.m. It's going to be at Mountain View Park, and the movie we're going to show is Minecraft. So that's the reschedule from the one on the 17th. And then we're going to look towards the summer months to potentially do them in the pool. Still working through some logistics there, but that'll be probably our last one at the park. Then we're going to work to figure out the summer months because it does get a little warm, so we'll figure out that. I know Commissioner mentioned the fitness room. That'll be opening at 3:30. I'll show a flyer later. We also want to let everyone know that for the month of May, it'll be open to everybody, so you don't have to have a membership. That's kind of to get an idea, see what it's like, see if it's something you'd like to do. You will still have to check in with Parks and Rec, and the reason for that is to do a waiver release and also to get like a little PIN number that they can kind of check you in and all that. So that's what we're doing for the remainder of the month, and then in June it'll start the services. And like Commissioner mentioned, there is a scholarship fund. I've talked with the Parks and Rec director that we'll be able to offer to people that qualify for it to be able to use the facility. So, and please let me know if you have any issues with it, any questions, if there's stuff that we should add or move out. We're still kind of adding a few more things. We got our main big pieces in there, but like Commissioner mentioned, anything else that you see, we can look at it and see what we can figure out, but I think it's going to be really great. I think it's a wonderful use of the space. Thank you to the Boys and Girls Club for working with us to let us reclaim that space. It looks wonderful, so look forward to having everyone there. And then I know there's the Laughlin Interact Club is in Laughlin, and we recognize them at the Board of County Commissioners in April 21st. Laughlin is amazing. From the students I met today at the A's event to the Laughlin Interact Club, usually I don't really get to talk to the Interact students because they're at an event and they're just running over and saying, what can I do to help you, which is amazing. But this was a really great time to sit down and talk with them. And there's some great students here, but there's also great leadership here with Principal Moss and Heidi and Ms. Z. So if we can bring up my presentation, I just want to show a little video of how the day went, because they were wonderful, and these kids are amazing because they actually said thank you cards after we recognized them. So here we'll
welcome. We are glad to get to help recognize all the way from Laughlin, the Laughlin High School Interact Club. Thank you all for making the trip in this morning to be here with us, along with your principal, Jonathan Moss, and your advisor, Mrs. Zanevsky. We are recognizing the Laughlin High School Interact Club for their outstanding impact on their community and on all of Clark County. These students with us today helped lead an organization with the help of their advisor that promotes leadership, that promotes integrity and service characteristics that are so important and valuable today. With over 60 members, nearly 1/3 of the student body, it is one of the largest Interact clubs in District 5495. That's right, one of the largest. Their contributions to Laughlin, I can speak to personally, are just immense. Would everybody just help me recognize and thank the Laughlin High School Interact Club?
I am the very lucky advisor of the Laughlin Interact Club. We only have 160 kids in our whole high school, but we have 60 kids in Interact. And this year they've set a goal to meet 1,000 hours of service, and they're almost there. I've had the privilege, I'm also an English teacher, I've had the privilege of watching these young men grow. I was their teacher in 6th grade. I'm still their teacher now that they're in 12th grade, so I have watched them grow from annoying little 6th graders to great leaders. and they are really the best of the best. I always say that our Interact Club is the best kids in our community, and I firmly believe that. I'm super proud to be their advisor and super proud of these young men. These are 3 of our officers, our co-presidents and our treasurer that came with us, and our principal, Mr. Moss. So thank you so much for this recognition. We appreciate it.
Presentation, and that's the ribbon cutting today at 3:30. And I just want to say those students were so great. We did breakfast with them. They got a whole tour of the government building, and a lot of good questions. They were asked a lot of questions about government, want to be involved in internships. So I know for sure we're going to see a lot of our Laughlin Interact students making big impact, not only in Laughlin, but probably Clark County wide. So it was a very meaningful day, and I'm so glad that I know Renee was there to be with them as well, and I'm so glad we were able to recognize them. So I want to share that with everyone. Those are my updates.
Y'all done? Okay, thank you. Receive a report from Lieutenant Rogers with Metro Police regarding activity and statistics during the past month and other areas of crime concerns.
All right, good afternoon. It's always good when Commissioner Nafta's in town, and we got a bunch of good, cool, and fun community events. I do have family in the Bay Area, so the A's are my favorite team. I'm not on the bandwagon just because they're moving here, so I'm excited. But we'll get into baseball and politics later. As far as our stats for the month, for April 2026, we responded to 292 calls for service. That is up 12% from last year. Of the month for my officers, we wrote 69 traffic tickets, 1 arrest for DUI, 7 arrests for battery domestic violence, a total of 18 bookings here at Tucker Holding, which includes any law enforcement agency that has a MOU to use our holding facility. And we responded to 1 call at the high school. And then you can see the stats on the bottom for each hotel individually and apartment complexes on where we spend a lot of our time. Any questions on the stats before I get into community events? Anybody good? Good, okay. Just on the stats we did have in this period is the old Laughlin River Run, which is now the Mayhem event. So it was very successful for us. Most of the properties were very full, sold out. And we didn't have as much of the headaches that they had to actually host an event across the river. We do work very good with Bullhead, so we did have like a unified command post and kind of liaison with them. If they needed help, we do go over there and help them. And then same, as we know from the apartment fire the other day, they also come over and help us when we need help. So overall, I think it was a successful event for our town, especially since we're not really hosting anything. It's not the old days. It's kind of a little sad to drive down Casino Drive and not see the big event. But the promoter now does want to revitalize it, so we're always here to help if that's the case. And hopefully in the next few years, we see it bigger and better as we keep kind of growing our small town down here. As far as community events, last weekend on Saturday, we had the Rev Fest that my team was there passing out snow cones, and we got the ambulance company to come out and partner with us. The fire department was a little busy. There was actually a fire that morning, so they were not able to be there with us. But it was good, good turnout, and we like doing those type of things. As far as the summer, we kind of don't do a ton of community events because it just gets a little hot outside. We do partner with the county for some of the movie and the park stuff. I'll have some officers there, and maybe we'll pass out some snow cones and popcorn or whatever. But we kind of gear up now for our big event for like a back-to-school fair and kind of help kids get some backpacks and things. It's kind of what we're focusing on right now. We will continue the blood drive. It's very successful here, actually in this room. So on June 24th is the next blood drive. Anybody that wants to donate blood, it usually sells out ahead of time. So unfortunately, they don't take walk-ins because we're so busy with online registration. And if you want to project even farther out than that, August 19th is the one that we have after that. And like I said, we'll be there today for the opening of the workout, the gym facility. Maybe try to see if some of my officers want to, give some tips and work out a little bit and, have some good time. But that's kind of it that I have, unless anyone has any questions. We're just happy to be here. Oh, okay, awesome. Thank you. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you. Receive a report from Sergeant Tim Waller with Nevada Highway Patrol regarding activity and statistics during the last month and other public safety concerns. So I don't see him. There is a report in the back, however. Receive a report from Clark County Fire Department regarding calls for service during the past month and other fire prevention, but I don't see them.
There was a truck on fire on 163, so they're probably still on that.
Okay. And they did not leave a report either. Okay. Receive a report from Val with Laughlin Chamber of Commerce regarding current and upcoming business activities in Laughlin. Sorry about that.
Nope, I collared it too. so-
Afternoon. Val Gabaldon with Laughlin Chamber of Commerce. We have a few events coming up. We have our monthly networking breakfast on Friday, May 29th at 8:30 in the morning. That'll be at the Laughlin Chamber. Our speaker that morning will be Dana Walters. She's the CEO of Bullhead City Mojave Valley Association of Realtors. They also have the venue 837 in their building. We have Toastmasters will be happening twice this month, on the 13th and the 27th at 5 p.m. We will go dark in June and July for our lunch mob First Fridays. The next one will be scheduled for August 7th, and we are still tossing around a few different locations, so keep your eyes and ears open for that one. And then we are having our Morning Joy meetup on Monday, June 8th at 8:30 in the morning at Morning Joy. Our guest speaker will be Deputy Chief Brian O'Neill, and he is with the Clark County Fire Department. So come on over and enjoy some coffee with us and have some conversations. If you would like to book or RSVP, call the Laughlin Chamber at 702-298-2214, extension 1. Our two big events coming up for the Laughlin Chamber is the 36th Annual Chef's Food Fest. That's going to be held at the Aquarius Pavilion on June 4th at 5 p.m. This year's theme is A Taste of Sweet Revenge. If you would like to purchase tickets, please go to laughlinchamber.com, or you can come into the Laughlin Chamber office to purchase. And we are also taking nominations for our 29th Annual Community Achievement Awards that will be held November the 7th. So go online to laughlinchamber.com/chamber-annual-events to nominate somebody in the community. It can be an individual, a student, a business, small and large, and it can be a community organization as well. For our membership, we have 263 active members. For the first quarter, we had 13 new members, and 4 of those are from Laughlin. And then for our volunteers in partnership, their monthly meeting is tonight at 5 p.m. at Harris Laughlin Fiesta Showroom. If anybody's interested in volunteering as an usher for a townwide event or other events in the area, please give us a call. There's applications available at the Laughlin Chamber. You can also email Susan Barilla, VIP@yahoo.com for more information. And then the Laughlin Chamber also has some extra amenities available to the public, whether it be members or visitors. Residents also. We have notary services available by appointment only. Please give us a call for that to make an appointment. We also have the Nevada Department of Wildlife Registration, fishing and small game licenses available. We've been a little active lately. Everybody wants to get out and catch some fish. So come on down and buy your fishing license. And then also the Laughlin Chamber is host to the Visitor Center, and there's also a small business center. So if somebody needs copies or fax something to someone, we can help with that as well.
How much are the tickets to the food fest?
They're $100 a ticket. A table of 10 is $1,000.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
has the secret ingredient been revealed yet?
That it has. Our secret ingredient this year is honey. And all of our chefs are extremely excited. They have collaborated on this year's secret ingredient.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Receive a report from Jason Bailey with Big Bend Water District regarding the status of the water system.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the board. Jason Bailey with the Big Bend Water District with a report for this month. Total water treatment diversions for the month of April were 303 acre feet, which is 98.7 million gallons. Year to date is 1,089 acre feet. That is up from 1,002 acre feet from this time last year. We have seen higher temperatures earlier on in the year, and that tends to increase water usage a little bit as people tend to use a little bit more outdoors and other things to water their plants. As far as the water system update, our staff inspected the 1130 zone tank while it was in service with a remote rover. That tank looks good. Staff also responded to about 10 customer service calls this past month. As far as a financial update for the fiscal year to date through March 31st, the Big Bend Water District's debt balance has decreased $473,000 from $2.66 million to approximately $2.20 million as of March 31st. We're grateful to have Commissioner Naft here and grateful for his words and his support as the chair of the Big Bend Water District Board of Trustees, and for Mark as well in helping to lead the effort in securing a loan with the Fort Mojave Development Funds. We're very grateful for that. As much of the board, many of the board members know, as they were in attendance, the cooperative agreement between the Clark County and the Big Bend Water District Board of Trustees, Big Bend Water District, was approved by the Board of Trustees on April 27th. And then as a note, the Big Bend Water District fiscal year budget, so the 26-27 budget, will be heard by the Big Bend Water District Board of Trustees on May 18th at 10 o'clock a.m. at the Clark County Government Center. So the meeting on the 27th was kind of a budget workshop, information on that budget, and then it will go to a public hearing on May 18th.
In Vegas, right?
In Las Vegas.
Clark County
The
Government
Clark,
Center,
yep,
Vegas.
yes.
Okay.
And then to address Ms. Ramelot's question about the Fort Mojave Capital Committee, I understand that might be led by the Laughlin Town Advisory Board or stakeholders within the community. The Big Bend Water District is open to having a committee come and be part of the interview and analysis process of any engineering or design firm.
And if I may, just interject, that is correct. It is, it's in the capacity of the Laughlin Town Advisory Board to work as that committee for the allocation of funds and overseeing the budget. So that's how it's going to work, and that's how it was discussed during the process, that they will act in that role of being the sole people that will do that committee for it. So,
And as far as, having two members on the board would, be fine too. 3 we can't do because of, open meeting law. But then we've also had community members. We have a CPA that's volunteered his services as well for any type of accounting process, and then other stakeholders within the community, I believe.
and I'll talk with Guy Hobbs as well, and kind of, talk with him to figure out, make sure we're all speaking the same language of how we're going to have it. And I can also be able to bring an update back as well with that too. So I know he's been heavily handling all the, dotting the I's and crossing the T's on this. So
Internal stuff.
Yep. I will make a note to follow up with him as well to make sure we're all correct. So, yep.
Thank you.
So I do have
Yes.
a question for you.
Yes.
You know how badly Casino Drive floods. Where are we at on flood control, if any movement towards diverting that water when we do get the monsoons?
Yeah,
I don't see any rain on the
Yeah,
horizon, but.
I know, we'd love rain. That's a great question. I think that would be for the Clark County Regional Flood Control District. They would, I think, be better apt to respond to that question.
Okay, so
Maybe
that
get
we
an update
may
from
need to get somebody to give us an update on
Yes.
where we are concerning that.
Yeah, and I'm more than happy
It's
to.
so destructive.
Yes, and I believe they were doing they were fixing the one at the lower part to make it so it helps. I will get an update on where that is in the project status.
Because I haven't seen any work on that.
Correct. Yep.
Whatsoever.
Madam Chair, if I might too, they had been giving us updates on some of the work that they were doing at Bruce Woodbury and stuff like that. We haven't heard anything from them for quite a while, so is it maybe we circle back and ask them to come and give us an update?
Yeah,
of where flood control's going on Casino Drive, plus the projects that they were working on. We just haven't heard anything, I would say, in probably more than 6 months.
That sounds right. Yep, but I'm more than happy to reach out to them and figure out when they can give us an update and how they can give us that update as well.
Madam
I
Chair.
don't know if you might have heard something, but
I have
yes.
not.
As an aside from flood control, Hyco Springs, the washout into the lagoon needs to be cleaned out still. But as we move into planning for the new tanks, I would ask that we coordinate with the fire chief and go through and do a full, real analysis by looking at the plans for the buildings in existence throughout town. I've noticed that some of them have been given like a general number that doesn't necessarily comply with the actual construction of the building itself. So our fire flows are potentially significantly higher than necessary. So you'll have to go through historical documents. That's kind of why I think it's happening. They don't have the plans, so they just put it at the highest rating. But if you go through the plans, you'll find there are things like firewalls, et cetera, that will allow us to lower our fire flows in certain zones.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Receive a report from Will Smith with Clark County Water Reclamation District regarding the status of the wastewater system.
Is there a reporting back? I don't see him.
Oh, yes, and their report is in the back of the room. I didn't see one here. Is Kelly here? I don't see Kelly Lear here either. Jackie's here. Receive a report from Jackie Wallen with the Laughlin Tourism Commission regarding current and upcoming events and activities.
If I may, Chair, as if it's okay, I'd like to make a comment about Laughlin Rotary. My Rotary presidency will end after 2 years on June 30th. Our president-elect is Renee, and she will be coming in starting July 1st. Some of the proudest moments of the Rotary that I have been able to govern have been those Interact students, and I thank you so much for acknowledging them. We are a part of Arizona's Rotary District 5495. We are the only club that's outside of the state of Arizona, and it's convenient because of proximity. It's much easier for us to meet with our local Rotary clubs and do things in collaboration as opposed to going north to do that. So that was changed quite a few years ago, and we're no longer belong to the Las Vegas, Southern California one, which is nice for us. We get more attention. At the last two conferences I went to, we were recognized as being the largest, most active Interact club in the state of Arizona, not just in our district, but in the state of Arizona. You can find Interact clubs in most schools at about the 32 to 40 person range, and those are regular inner city high schools. So if that doesn't hit you just a little bit, that we had 61 active in our school doing community things and helping all of us do the things that we do. They even help Chamber, they help me with all my other things, and they're really active. It's nice for me to be able to say that they reached their goal as of today of 1,010 community hours in 1 year.
Nice.
So that was pretty exciting. I do want to say something about flood control too. That was Fred's project, and I know that's probably why we haven't heard, because he was always knocking at the door, because he's survived some of those floods down there, and my resorts are always getting the brunt end of that flood, going right through their resorts and causing lots of damage. Sure, insurance probably covers some of that, but it would really help to mitigate if we can look at that flood control and make sure that our resorts can survive through a flash flood. It's kind of scary down there when that happens. So I'll give another report about my end of Rotary at another time, but I just wanted you to know that that Interact Club is one of my proudest, and I'm really, really proud of Heidi and that high school for supporting them. So on behalf of the Laughlin Tourism Commission, my name is Jackie Wallin, W-A-L-L-I-N. I'm still employed there. We had a Matt Rife variety comedy show this last Saturday. We ended up scanning out of the 10,400 tickets that were sold. That holds 11,600 individuals. We scanned 9,268, even with the weather being at 101 degrees at 8 o'clock. When the sun went down, it made it much more pleasing to stay out there. We had a little bit of a draft coming through there to make us feel a little cooler. The event was successful. There wasn't anything to report, and good thing we didn't invite any children under the age of 21. I think it was 18, yes. It was quite the fun event. Our next event is 36th Annual Rockets Over the River. I'll repeat that, 36th Annual. 36 years we've been sponsoring the Rockets Over the River for the communities. And our whole community and those people who visit here during the 4th of July have been able to enjoy this show at the cost of the Laughlin Tourism Commission. Right now it's ranging around 140 to 160,000 for the rockets, for the shells, and for the support. I don't know if you know that pyrotechnics are considered a weapon of mass destruction, so we have to make sure that everything's secure and that we take care of it in a serious manner and that things are taken care of. And those technicians that are on the ground are well taken care of during those summer hours when they're trying to complete the installation of all of that. We will be going into the 37th year. It's in the budget. We just don't know what those costs are going to be. Right now, we are thankful and grateful to the city of Bullhead City for helping pick up some of the costs that normally occur, like cleaning the land at the detonation site of weeds, making sure that the fallout zone of the 2,500 feet in a circle that covers the water all the way back to where the old post office is over there between Home Depot and that post office is clear of any bodies or homeless, to make sure that no one's injured in the fallout. And their fire department is amazing in helping us take care of that. And they clean up, they do the street cleaning, they do the weed cleanup and everything. So I really want to have a big shout out for Bullhead City for picking up those costs to cover the rise of the fireworks going forward. They've been a good partner when it comes to that. But they've also been really satisfied with the show that we're giving their constituents also. Our next announced show is October 24th for the Fall Concert Series, and that's Nelly with a special guest of Little John. It seems to be pretty popular on social right now, so I'm excited about it. Tickets will go on soon. Killers of the Kill Tony Adult Variety Comedy Show are going to be here at the Rio Vista Amphitheater, and that's a fall December 5th show, and that is comedy of a different kind. It's really popular, so we're hoping that it'll bring in some new, younger guests into our destination because our general demographic is lowering. In the last 5 years, it's gone down 8 years, so we're now into the 50s, and we're seeing a younger crowd come in. And with the new work that I'm doing with the grants, I hope that it helps. That brings on the River 250 grant, and we're in the closing months of that. We do have the first annual boat poker run on Lake Mojave. Catherine's Landing National Park Service and all of Bullhead City and Laughlin are excited. They've been asking for this for a long time. I didn't have a grant or anything to sustain it, but with the River 250 grant, we'll be able to give away lots of prizes. First, it's a free event. When I go to a poker run on my Harley, with Jill and everybody else, we have to pay $35 a head. But with this, it's free. Number one reason is national parks will not let us gamble. So we have to allow them to come in for free. Registration is 9 to 12 for those people who are launching their boats before noon. You can go to the 5 coasts on your boat, or you can catch a ferry at Catherine's Landing. They have captains on the deck boats there, and it takes about 40-45 minutes to get to each one of the 5 coasts and draw your card to fill out your thing, and then we're going to have a party up at Catherine's Landing, and we're going to have a nice band from 4 to 8, drink specials, dinner specials, those kind of things. The first place gift is a long weekend at Catherine Landing with a private beach and a private boat rental and dinner. So the first prize is going to be very valuable no matter how you look at it. We're really excited about that. Moving forward to after that is then, of course, the 4th of July fireworks, and that's going to be covered really, really well. The Bullhead Chamber of Commerce is doing a red, white, and blue boat parade pre-event. So our rockets over the river start at 9:30, and they're going to be having a red, white, and blue boat parade in that area so that both sides of the river can see those lit up boats, probably between about 8:39. You know, we can't control how fast boats will move in a parade, or even in a parade on land. It kind of gets kind of crazy, but they will be off the water, and that area will be secure for fallout before 9:30. The cross-border celebration so far has gone really, really well. I'm really happy with the collaboration in Bullhead and the way that we've been able to cover this. I think that our post-event, post-grant evaluation is going to go really, really well. As far as being able to prove that we used that grant to the best of our ability, and that $35,000 will be matched 50%, and I think we'll be able to cover it with volunteer hours. So I'm really excited about that, that we don't have to have any cash out of hand. The other one is the go-laughlin.com grant, and that is our grant that's starting to gear up. A lot of people are getting excited about it and using it more often. Carrie and I are collaborators on that with our website builder and social media helper. I'm learning a lot more about social media than I ever wanted to, and Canva. I'm telling you, these things, this technology is kind of weird. But I'm happy with it. And if you see on the bottom of the second page, these are some of the messages that we're sending out on our social. And if you go to go-laughlin.com, because we want to live life in the dash, that's why the dash is in there. It's now starting to compete in the search engine optimization field, or the SEO field, where we're starting to come to the top with the Go Lake Havasu and other places that have that same dash and research or search engine at the top of the page. So I'm kind of excited about it. The website, the more you use it, the better off we'll be. The resorts are now starting to send me some of their collateral so that we can put more real pictures of Laughlin on there and show what everything that happens in our area. Did I miss anything on that? As far as LVCVA is in, they are calling their campaign this year All In, and we're saying that we're all in and living in the dash. So do you guys have any questions beyond that?
No.
Thank you.
Thank you. Planning and zoning, none. General business, none. And that brings us to comments by the general public. A period devoted to comments by the general public about matters relevant to the board's jurisdiction will be held. No vote may be taken on a matter listed on the posted agenda, not listed on the posted agenda. Comments will be limited to 3 minutes. Please step up to the speaker's podium. If applicable, clearly state your name and address, and please spell your last name for the record. If any member of the board wishes to extend the length of a presentation, this will be done by the chairperson or the board by majority vote.
Jill and I are now representing the River Fund, Inc. That's our go-to community service project program.
Crisis and emergency services.
I sit on the board of directors. She is our public information officer and helps us with getting the word out on things. It is important for me to tell you that Mike is really sick. He's been sick for a long time. Everybody knows Mike Connor. He's been here for 50 years and done so much in this community, from law enforcement to bringing River Fund and its services to light. He hasn't been well for the last couple of years, but recently he's gotten really ill. And I would ask anybody that feels it in their heart to send a card to River Fund, and then we can escort it up to Las Vegas. He'll probably be there for 3 to 4 weeks. He had a recent fall that just made things a little bit worse. and he's still fighting cancer. So if you guys can just have it in your heart to write a card, we'll make sure that he gets it. He is really depressed, and as a community, as much as he's served both sides of this river for the majority of his life, I think it's important that we now support him and give him encouragement to get better.
And I can add that before any of this illness occurred, he had already planned to retire. This was going to be his last year. So there is a job opening at Riverfund. You can find at riverfunding.com. It's a program director position. It's 30 hours a week. And it's going to be basically doing grants and overseeing the rest of the staff. But there is an amazing staff, 4 awesome women who are continuing to make sure Riverfund runs as it should, and also an extraordinary board that Jackie is a big part of. So just want you to know that, you know, everything is still moving along, and Mike is still in there. He's still talking to everybody, and he's got his cell phone and working harder than he should be while he's in the hospital. But yeah, please send your prayers and cards and anything, because it is difficult for him to get his email and stuff where he's at. So send us cards and we'll make sure we get it up to him. And everybody send your prayers, and we thank you so much for, and I'll also tell you that the last fundraiser for the Friends of Riverfund Cancer Connection went really great. They've almost hit $85,000.
Nice.
I'm selling jams and jellies and jewelry. These ladies are amazing.
Wow.
So thank you all so
Thank you.
much.
Yep, thank you.
I need to sell jam.
How's everybody doing? Evan Needham. I'm here on behalf of Rotary. Actually, our community outreach director, Corey, was not able to make it, but he wanted me to give the announcement. One of the things that he's most proud of that he's working on right now for our Laughlin Rotary is the Special Olympics. He's been working diligently on this and to bringing this to the Colorado River Valley. There's a lot of traction and a lot of support going on for it. And one of the primary focuses right now is fundraising. So on Monday, May 18th at the Black Bear Diner, they're doing a Dine and Donate fundraiser event. It's for the Special Olympics, so they can generate the funding necessary for the training and the events that are necessary for the Special Olympic program. So that'll be Monday, May 18th. And I believe it starts at 8 o'clock in the morning and runs throughout the day. So if you guys are able to make it to the Black Bear Diner, Monday, May 18th for the Dine and Donate.
Great, thank you. Okay, seeing no one else, our next meeting is scheduled for June 9th, 2026 in this room. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.